members and members who are honorable, a very warm welcome to my lesson for today, where we are going to be doing some corrections, honorable members. I'm just checking for another marker if I can find one. So obviously, today what we're going to be doing is corrections to the test that you guys wrote yesterday. So we are not going to waste much of our precious time. So this is what is going to happen, honorable members. I am going to be showing you what I would have done if it was myself in exam. And most importantly, honorable members, please, you do need to make sure that you place the marks where I'm going to be advising you to put the marks. And then once the lesson is done, you are going to, via inbox, the same way you submitted, let me know in terms of how much you got out of a total. Then from there, that's when I'm going to verify. So it doesn't necessarily mean that as soon as this lesson is done, you should send it. That one, you just need to make sure that before you do that, you go through all your answers, especially those that you got wrong. Focus on those, check where you made mistakes, so that on our next lesson, we are going to discuss that test in more details, and you're going to be asking the questions. So that means you need to make sure that you check where you went wrong, and then from there you will be able to ask some relevant questions. So obviously, question number 1 is where we are going to start. You are given 1.1. Listen very carefully. For 1.1, what they are saying is that you need to solve for x in each of the following. What are the following? The following, they are simply referring to 1.1.1 all the way up to 1.1.4. So let's see. Firstly, you are given an equation there that you need to very quickly work it out. Pretty much sure that almost everyone got it correct. So just in case if you did not, then you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you attend all the lessons that I do for grade 10, because this is a simple one. Obviously, when they say solve for x, it means finally you should say x is equals to whatever. So remember, this question was allocated 3 marks. So what you need to do on your side, honorable members, just make sure that you check for every question that I write if I've written it correctly. If not, you let me know immediately. Because if you write a question incorrectly and you answer that incorrect question, but you answer it correctly, it's wrong, because that's not what examiner wanted to test you on. So now, obviously, we have x, we can say 4 there, we can say 3 there. I think the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. So now it's easy. You know your x, it is equals to positive 3, or x, it's equals to negative 4. So that's how you would work it out, honorable members. Trust me, with you factorizing, give yourself a mark. With you getting those answers, give yourself some marks there. And that is how, honorable members, you get yourself how many marks for that one? That's how you get yourself 3 marks for that question. Okay, so let's see. Now let's move on to the next one. Remember, this is a recording which will be posted as soon as the lesson is done. So just in case if it looks like I'm moving a bit faster, be aware that you also need to move a bit faster by taking some screenshots. If you're writing, you write quickly. Otherwise, if you're not able to do all of those quickly, you can just watch as I deal with these problems decisively. And then once the lesson is done, it will be posted. I'm also going to post this in your library where you're going to be easily be able to catch it. Okay, the next question, this is what we are given. Square root, let's see, what is that? Is it 2x? Yes, it is square root 2x plus 1 And then this is equals to x where you minus 1. And this question, it deserves some more. Yes, this is too much. 5 marks. Thought it was going to be allocated just 4 marks. So remember, guys, first thing, what you need to do is to remove the square root. So that is why you are going to say inside the brackets, you are going to square this, and again you are also going to square that, because remember, whatever that you do on the left, you do on the right. This is how you answer. This is how your answer sheet should look like. And then because you removed the square root, you just remain with that. On this side, squared means two of the same thing. So just for the sake of space, I can just say minus 1 there, and then we still have x that. So this is where you say da 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 da. Trust me, it will give you that. It will give you that, and then you have plus 1 there. So you end up having 2x, which is equals to x squared negative 2x plus 1. Then what you need to do is to rewrite it in the standard form. This is where I say you can still say 0 equals, you have x squared, take this to the other side, it's like you have negative 2x minus 2x, and then what else are you having? You take this to the other side, it's like you are having this one minus that one. So it's like you have 0, which is equals to x squared, that cancels with that, and then you have negative 4x there. So let me rewrite it as that on the right side. Obviously this one on the other side equals to 0. So can you guys see, can't we take out something as common factor? X can be taken out as common factor. That's how you factorize. And then you can easily say your x is equals to 0, or your x it is equals to positive 4. Obviously took this to the other side. So this is now where you need to decide between these two values, which one is a solution, which one is not a solution or not applicable. So that means you're going to take 0, substitute it there and there. Check if it gives you the same answer. Square root of 2 into 0 plus 1, it gives you 1. Nay. And then that side, when you say 0 minus 1, it gives you negative 1. So that means this one is not a solution. So you can either say not applicable. If you don't do it, if you don't write that, you can still write a not a solution. Otherwise, if you do not write these texts, you can just cross it like that, then you are done. So let's test this one also. So that means you'll say square root 2 into 4 plus 1 is equals to, it gives us 3. On the other side, 3, 4 minus 1 is 3. Yes, this one is a solution. Then you are done. You are done, honorable members. Trust me, by so doing, that's how you score yourself 5 marks. And I will give you a mark there where you squared both of those honorable members. And I think for you to write it in the standard form, either this step or the second step, just give yourself a mark there, just 1 mark. And then where else can I give you the marks, honorable members? I think with you factorizing, you deserve a mark there. Trust me, with that statement where it's either you said x is equals to 0 and then you mentioned one of those, that's where you give yourself a mark. If you did not mention this but you crossed it, you give yourself a mark. And then the last one there, 2, 4, 5, yes, that's where you give yourself some marks, honorable members, or members who are honorable. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, it is to remove all of this, and then we move on to the next question. I hope you guys did enjoy this test. It wasn't, I'm tempted to say it wasn't an easy one. I think what we are doing now is 1.1.3. So let me see what we had on that one. So for this one, we had 2 to the exponent x square root of x, which is equals to 2 to the exponent 27. Just says, how many marks? 4 marks. No. This is too much. You guys have been given extra free marks. Okay, so I think, honorable members, we can try to somehow deal with these things. Let's say, for example, 2 to the exponent x multiply. I get we know when we have square root of x, we know there is invisible 1, there is invisible 2. So that means this thing is the same as 1 over 2. So don't be surprised when I say x to the exponent 1 over 2, which is equals to 2 to the exponent 27. Remember, we have been discussing all of that, honorable members. So now, bases are the same. We can still equate the exponents. But before we do that, we can still try to work out this one. You remember, Mos, we said if you have the same basis, you add the exponents. So that means we have 2 to the exponent 1 plus half. Trust me, it gives you 3 over 2. Wait, I had to have x there as the base. X to the exponent 3 over 2, which is equal to 2 to the exponent 27. So now bases are the same. You can equate the exponent. So you have 3 over 2 there, which is equals to, you have 27 there. So what you can do to remove that, how about you multiply both sides by 2 over 3? You multiply, obviously there's invisible 1 there, 2 over 3. Why 2 over 3? Is so that this cancels with that cancels with that. Then you have x, which is equals to, you punch all of that on your calculator. You have 27 to the exponent 2 over 3, and then it gives you 9. So that would mean 9, it is the answer for that question. So now let's see where you score some marks for that one. Let's see. So that means with you having written that, you do square mark for that one. And for you, I think there you do deserve a mark there, honorable members. And again, for you to having multiplied everything by 2 over 3, you also score yourself a mark there. And then the last mark, give yourself on that final 1 over there. So that means if you got x to be equals to 9, you allocate yourself full marks for that one. So that's how you would work it out. So now, very quickly, let's move on to the next question, being 1.1.4. So there we are having x squared, where we minus 2x, where we minus 8, that being less than that. Say, what if you used a different method but got the same answer? Also give yourself full mark for that one. As long as you have done it differently, but in the end, you got yourself that same answer. Give yourself full mark for that one. So there are other ways in which you can work it out. But that one is the standard way. Say, if you used a different method and got the same answer, you give yourself full marks. Okay, so now let's try to work out this one. Remember, guys, here you can find what we call the critical values. I'm just not sure if you guys did manage to pay full attention when we were doing inequalities, even though we did not do them that much, honorable members. But obviously you would have x there, I think maybe 2 and 4. Remember, the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. And then for you to have negative 8, I think that's if you multiply by that's if you multiply by a positive there. Yes. 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 And then from there, honorable members, There are therefore multiple ways in which you can therefore present your final answer. Otherwise, you can still do that on a number line. I am still going to teach you this, honorable members, where you obviously have a, what is it, -2 there, and then 4, it is going to be on that other side. The critical values, this is where you take that, you equate it to 0. You therefore have your x being equals to that, or again your x being equals to -2. These are what we call the critical values. So that's when you are allowed to use an equal sign when you find the critical values that you need to represent on a number line, honorable members. I'm just not sure if you guys remember that when you have less than there, you just have those circles which are not shaded, and then you just have a line connecting those two. I will obviously at a later stage take you through that lesson. Otherwise, remember, you can still write it as x being between this -2 and 4. Otherwise, you can just say x is the element of, you do this type of a bracket and also that type. This one you use if you had, for example, less or equals to. Greater or is equals to, that's when you use this type. Okay, where do you then give yourself some marks? You give yourself a marks for correct factors there. Remember, this was allocated 3 marks. Where does the second mark come? So with you getting those critical values, you give yourself a mark. And then the last mark, you can just give yourself a last mark there. Otherwise, if you have answered using that, you give yourself a mark there. Otherwise, there. So that means there, or there. The main question was solve for x. So that's how you would have solved for x in that case. So now, let's continue. I'm just not sure because there's some information that I removed, which was irrelevant, because I wanted to test you guys on what we have covered on our side. But I think in the meantime, let me very quickly check. Let me quickly very check. Yeah, so the next question, it is a simultaneous equation. The simultaneous equation, which is the one that actually has a potential to more mistakes. You are most likely to make mistakes here. So also myself, I can easily make some mistakes. So you need to solve for x and y. Solve for x and y simultaneously. This is what you are given, x minus 2y, I hope I'm copying it correctly, which is equals to -3. We can regard this as our equation number 1. Then we are given another one, which is just xy being equals to 20. We can regard this as equation number 3. The most important, someone is asking, say if I got one right. Remember, for that previous question, the first mark is for factorization, second for critical values. The last one you choose from those 3. Whichever one that you wrote, you give yourself a mark. So on this one, the most important step, being the first step, is to derive equation number 3. How do you derive that? You look for x or y that you can make the subject of the formula. It's easy here to make x because you will take this 2y to the other side. It changes the sign. It becomes +2. And then you have -3 there. Then you're going to say, I'm going to take equation number 3 and substitute it into equation number 2. That's what you're going to do. So it's like where you see x you are going to substitute that. So you can still say y into, you substitute your x, which is 2y minus 3. So obviously there your y is on this side, but it's always best to write it on this side. So now you did substitute, and that is equals to 20. So can you guys see, back to that, you have 2y squared minus 3y. You take this to the other side, it becomes minus 20. That is equals to 0. And then what you need to do now, it is to factorize. So I hope you guys are well aware that when you factorize, you can just use what is it? You can just use that quadratic formula. I think is the easiest, especially that you need to work out these things as quick as possible, and then you move on. Maybe let me quickly use that. So let's see, you're going to say over negative your b into negative 3, you close, you say plus square root of a negative b squared minus 4h2, c is negative 20 over 2 into a being 2. I'm getting 4. So that means you have y. If you get positive 4 there, you write it as negative 4 inside the brackets. You go and change that sign to a minus. I'm getting negative 5 over 2. This one at the bottom, you attach it to x. This one at the top is the one that you write it there. And then that minus, you write it with opposite sign. Can you see? The reason for that is so that you know that this that you got on a calculator is your final answer. So you obviously have that, which is equal to 0. This to the other side is negative 5. You divide by 2, your x ends up being negative 5 over 2, which is what you get on your calculator. For this one, it's y minus 4 equals to 0, y equals to positive 4. So that's how you get your first answers. Wait, not x but y. Just says this is then going to be wrong. Not x but y. You need to be very careful of that, honorable members. Not x but y. So that means what I did there was completely wrong. At least I was able to notice that, which is something that you should do even in exam. So now you're going to use this value to find the x value. And we said x is equals to 2. Where you see y, you're going to substitute that, obviously minus 3. So it's like you have that cancelling that. You have negative 5, negative 8 being the answer. Yes, you do the same there. You are having 2 into your y being 4 minus 3. This is 8 minus 3, that is 5. So in short, this is what you are having. Where x is that, this is y. Where x is that, this is y. What a lengthy calculation, honorable members. What a lengthy calculation. Let's come to the marks. How many marks is this one allocated? 6 marks. Yes, yes. That is too much. So with you making x the subject of the formula, we give you a mark there. With you substituting correctly, we give you a mark there. Trust me, with you writing it in the standard form, I'm going to give you a mark there. And guess what? By just factorizing, you do get a mark. And again, for your y values, both of them, you get a mark. Both of your x values, you get a mark. So 6 marks for that. Important honorable members on that one. I hope that made sense. So remember guys, we are not wasting much of our precious time. Sesiyachubeka manje. we are now approaching question number 2. I'm very much impressed, honorable members. Most of you guys were doing some right things there. Okay, question 3 marks. N plus 2 times and do something there. I'll just wait for someone to confirm if all is clear. But I don't think all is clear because I notice I'm not able to see your profile pictures. So I'll just be waiting for the clear. Okay. So here we cannot rewrite that base other than as it is. And then times, but that one, we can write it as 2 to the 2. We have n plus 1 over this one. We can write it as 2 to the 8, that and that. So we have 2 n plus that multiplying by 2, that by that, that by that is 2n plus 2 over 2, that by that is 3n minus 3. Then we have the same basis, we add the exponent. So that means we have that, and then we have that. These ones, you change their signs. You see there's positive 3, you write it as minus 3. And that one is positive 3, you write it as positive 3. So let's see. Can you guys see this and that? They give you 3n. Minusing 3n, it means that they are cancelling. So you have 2 plus 2, which is 4, plus 3. So that means you have 2 to the exponent 7, which is finally equals 2 to the exponent 7. It's 128. So that means the final answer to that question is 128. And trust me, with you dealing decisively with that, we just give you 3 marks. It's not a complicated one. And I'm glad they give you 3 marks because so far we have been doing very difficult questions, honorable members. We have been doing very difficult question. This one, it's an easy one. A very easy question, this one. Someone is asking, say, I used a different method for that, but I still got it correct. Yes, you give yourself full marks for that one, honorable member. When it comes to that, you can get it right, working it out differently. So with you applying those laws of exponents, give yourself a mark, and then your final answer. So that means for you to write those in those bases, you give yourself a mark by writing them as the prime bases. And then for applying the laws of exponents, you give yourself a mark, and then for the final answer, you give yourself a mark. Then that's how you score yourself 3 marks a fair die question. So now let's move on to this other question. I wonder if you guys were able to work out this one. Not an easy one. Not an easy one. Remember they said you need to simplify without using a calculator. So here we have square root of x, where you plus square root of 2x, this is minus 1 there, where you multiply that. Okay, no, this is everything inside the square root. Okay, no, I did copy it correctly. This is that. And then multiplying by, again, another square root. Here we have x, but here it's a minus. And then we have 2x again minus 1. Yes, I think I have worked it out correctly there. Did I copy it correctly? I need to make sure of that one, honorable members, because one mistake, if it's not copied correctly, I will never get it right. I will. Yes, I think I have I think I have worked it out correctly there. Yes, okay. Let's see something, guys. I wonder if this thing could work. What if we say, let's let where we see 2x minus 1 to be k. This is what you find in grade 11, where for complicated problems where you see that, you can just say, for now, let's represent it as k. So it's like you are saying you have square root of x plus k multiplying square root of x minus k. So it's like, because this thing, it has some square root within square root, let's just represent it as k for now. I'm just not sure if that makes sense, honorable members. But trust me, do you guys still remember where we said, if you have square root of 2 multiplying square root of 4, this thing is the same as square root of 2 times 4. Or maybe I can still write that. So I can still do the same there and say, actually, this is the same as x plus k multiplying x minus wait, I had to do something. Yes, here it's supposed to be k. Yes, now I can see that something is not adding up, because I said where I see square root of that into that, I put k. Yes, 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 yes. Not an easy one, honorable members. Not an easy one, this one. Trust me, not an easy one. I'm just not so sure if you guys would agree with me in saying this thing inside the brackets, if you try to work it out as that by that, that by that, that by that, maybe let's do it. That times that, it will give us x squared. That times that, it will give us negative, let's say, kx. That by that will give us plus kx. That by that will give us minus kx squared. So that will cancel with that. Then it means inside, you remain with x squared minus k squared. Yes, that's what you remain with there. So now I think we can now, remember we're solving for x. Let's now try to substitute our k there. If you guys remember, again we have that x squared there minus, how about we substitute our k? What will it be? Will it not be to, remember our k is square root of 2x minus 1. I'm just not sure if you are able to notice that this square root is being removed by that squared from there. So it's like we just remain with x squared minus a, just let me not take a shortcut there. So inside the brackets, we have that 2x minus 1. And then what you're going to do is to say that times that, that times that. It is going to end up giving us, because of space, let me write it there. It is going to end up giving us x squared minus 2x plus 1. I'm just wondering if you guys can be able to factorize that. Let's see if we can be able to factorize that. Let's see if we can be able to factorize that. Let's see. If we say x there, and then if we say -1, if we say -1, x times x, it will give us x squared. X times -1, it will give us -1x. X times -1, it will give us -1. -1 times -1 will give us +1. Yes, it does take us back to there. Yes, that means it can be factorized. It means it can be factorized. And then now, but can you guys see, can we not just write this as x minus 1 squared? We can, because this is the same thing. Why did we do that? It's so that we can now say this square root cancels with that squared, and then we just have x minus 1 as our final answer. I don't think all of you guys got it correct, this one. Just as I saw some movies there. I saw action movie. But anyway, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It was allocated 4 marks, even though I don't think for you guys is worth that much. By the way, this question paper was from a November exam paper. So if you were able to pass, it means you are almost done with grade 10 before you even started, but you are almost done. Simply because you've been attending my lessons during school holidays, which is the benefit, honorable members. Okay, let's see where we are going to give you some marks. I think writing everything as one SAT, you deserve a mark there. And then with you simplifying up to there, you deserve a mark there, honorable members, trust me. And with you doing that, you do deserve a mark. And then lastly, the final answer. Otherwise, if you got that final answer and you've worked it out differently, you allocate yourself full marks, because there are other ways in which you can work it out. I thought this was an easy one. So guys, I'm still going to teach you how to work out certain problems where you assume something to be K, or where you let something to be K. Very, very much important, honorable members, on that one. Hey, Ban, it seems like we are now on the last question, Mos. It seems like we are now on the last question. And what are they saying there? Is it the last question? Calculate the sum of the digits of that. 4 marks. Just says the sum of the digits of that. Let me write down that problem. Is 2.3. 2 to the exponent 2015 multiplying, no, not that, but 5 to the exponent 2019. Yes. Okay, guys, here comes a question. Can we not try to make the exponents the same somehow? For example, we say 2 to the exponent 2015 there, multiplied by, why can't we say 5 to the exponent 2015 and then we say times 5 to the exponent? What will that? It has to be 4. Because I agree, the laws of exponents says if the bases are the same, you add the exponents. Then it takes you back to there. I'm just not sure if you guys are able to notice that, honorable members. And then from there, what if I punch this one on a calculator? What will that be? 5 to the exponent 4. It is 625. And then inside the brackets, remember, you are multiplying. I get this thing is there. It's multiplying. Here, let's say maybe 2 times that 5 to the exponent 2015. Someone says they taught us a different method, but I still got that. Give yourself a full mark. That's if what you submitted already, you got that final answer. So that means you are now being exposed to possible ways in which you can work it out. Pilar Isaac. I think we are talking about that previous question. So now, honorable members, I'm not sure if you are able to notice that we actually have that times 10 to the exponent 2015, because 2 times that is 5. Trust me, honorable members, if something is written as, let's say, 24 times 10 to the exponent 4, it simply means you have 24 and how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what that 4 means. If, for example, you have 173 times 10 to the exponent, let's say 11, it means it is 173. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. What would it mean for this one? So that means here you are having 6, 2, 5, and how many zeros? Just as a lot of zeros, honorable members. 2015 zeros. You can imagine if you had to write all of those zeros, you wouldn't finish, honorable members. And remember, the question said the sum of the digits. You need to calculate the sum of the digits. What does it mean? It means you just add that to that to that to those zeros. So it's like they're saying 6 plus 2, you plus 5, you plus those zeros, you plus those zeros, you plus those zeros up to infinity. So obviously, if say 6 plus that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that means it is actually 13. Even if you say you add those zeros, you know they are not going to make any difference. And that's how you would work it out, honorable members. And this type of questions, they just come as a surprise. You wouldn't know what to expect. So the only way to deal with it is to do as many past question papers as possible. So trust me, this question, how many marks? It was allocated 4 marks. And this is where we give you a mark, honorable members. And then with you being able to notice that you will end up saying 10 to the exponent 2015, you do deserve a mark for that step. It doesn't end there. Also this one, very, very much important step, honorable, your final answer where you calculated the digits, the sum of the digits, you get a mark. So this is how you would work it out, honorable members or members who are honorable. So guys, it is that time where I need to sign out now. I'd like for you to make sure that you remember to click on that like button, just so that it serves as an indication that you did attend, honorable members. But otherwise, from my side, I need to sign out and have some rest. Le bandla la kaNkulunkulu and say, ladies and gentlemen, I do thank you very much for joining. I will see you on our next lesson where we clarify all of those. So just in case if you had some questions, we are going to discuss those in our Zoom lesson where we are able to engage man to man. So guys, there's one who says Zinalanga Ndremuano Ndova. Okay, guys, a very good night. Now I am going.